What is up, everybody? How's it going? I am your host, Josh from Kayfabe Central. As always, I messed up my own intro just now. I am tired. It's been a long day of wrestling. But I am Josh from Kayfabe Central. As always, this is the WrestleMania Night One review. We're gonna be going over all the matches from Night One and my thoughts on it. The post for Kayfabe Central, the Kayfabe Central website, is not up yet. It's gonna be up after Night Two ends. Jeez, I my hair's a mess. I didn't even like. I just came up here and did a few things, and then immediately just turned on the camera and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a long day of wrestling, but a pretty solid day of wrestling, and yeah, we're gonna be going over this card, and like I was saying, the posts on the Kayfabe Central website is not going to be up until after Night Two ends, just because it's a lot easier for me to publish it once everything is finished. So I have my notes here in front of me, but you guys won't see the website version until after Night Two, which is fine. I think a lot of people prefer like the podcast episodes anyway. I think a lot more people listen to podcasts now and watch, YouTube videos instead of the website stuff. But I still do the website stuff because I know some people still like the website style stuff, and it's just easier to read things than scroll to however long in the video. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. I feel like I was just doing this, and I kind of was like it was like 7 hours ago, the NXT Stand and Deliver review. But we're gonna get straight into this. So I got to keep my voice down a little bit because it is almost 12 o'clock in the morning, and everybody in my house is getting ready to go to sleep. So let's go straight into it. The first match of the night. I guess we should talk about the pre-show first. So the pre-show was really nothing as expected. It was 3 hours of just talking about the matches and even talking about matches tomorrow night. And we had a couple interesting things there, though. We had obviously the unfortunate announcement that Rey Mysterio was going to be out of his match against El Grande Americano, where he was replaced by Ray Phoenix, which we'll get into a little bit later on. We had the announcement of WWE buying AAA, which I didn't have on my bingo card. And yeah, definitely didn't see that coming. We had the segment where we had a bunch of like luchadors like Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Ray Phoenix, Andrade, the Garzas. Vikingo was there. I can like I have to think twice before I pronounce his name sometimes. My camera's doing this weird thing. I don't know if it was doing this earlier. I don't think it was, but hopefully it doesn't come out too shitty. But yeah, we had that on the pre-show, and there wasn't that we had Bailey get attacked and be written off for the match tomorrow night, which I found interesting. And it seems like this is just an angle that they're going with. I don't know if she's actually hurt. I don't think she is. I'm kind of intrigued into what the angle is. I think the part Lyra's partner tomorrow is going to end up being Becky Lynch. That's what it seems like they're going with. There's a few other people that can end up being her partner, but I think the most likely option is Becky Lynch. Um, so yeah, other than that, there was nothing else that really happened on the pre-show. So we can get straight into the first match of night one, which was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso, where Jey Uso won the title by submission. Now, I figured Jey Uso was going to win here. I figured he was going to have his moment. Before we get into that, actually, the entrances tonight for WrestleMania felt very. They didn't feel good. They didn't feel WrestleMania. This whole night from the start didn't feel like a WrestleMania. And even before WrestleMania started, I was telling like my sister and other people like this doesn't feel like WrestleMania. It felt more like a SummerSlam. And as the night went on, that's what it continued to feel like. Um, Jey Uso had the entrance where he, comes to the crowd as he always does, and he had a few cheerleaders in the crowd. He didn't even do his yeet thing, where he gets the whole crowd going. I guess he's selling that he's locked in. Use focus, which is fine, but he didn't really have that grand of an entrance. Gunther, I didn't really expect to have a grand entrance. It's Gunther. Um, but what did shock me is the fact that Gunther tapped out to his own move. And the match itself was solid. Um, no match on this card was necessarily bad. It's just most of them didn't belong on WrestleMania. Most of these matches just felt like they could have been on Raw. Um, but Jey Uso, hits Gunther's clothesline, he hits Gunther's power bomb, and then puts Gunther in his own chokehold, and Gunther pretty much like immediately taps out. And I don't know why they decided to go that route. I think that was a pretty bad decision. I think it's a bad decision to have Jey Uso win the title in general, honestly. And that's not me discrediting Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso, and I think eventually he was gonna have his moment. I just don't think that it should have been now. I think Gunther should have been facing somebody else here, but it is what it is. But even if you wanted Jey Uso to win this, even if you wanted this whole underdog story and Jey Uso to win and all that good stuff, you shouldn't have made him win by submission. Because as soon as that happened, I was like, this WWE not like Gunther anymore? And yeah, it was really weird. And I think this looks really bad on Gunther. This doesn't do anything good for Gunther. And I also don't think that Jey Uso is gonna have that great of a title reign. I think he's gonna have some pretty mediocre feuds, and even back to the entrance for a quick sec, for a guy that's like, for people, like, people always say that Jey Uso is just an entrance guy. He didn't have that good of an entrance either today. And like, again, I'm not hating on this match. I'm not hating on Jey Uso. I just feel like this was underwhelming. Good match, solid enough, but this was also underwhelming at the same time. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Um I don't know where Gunther goes from here after tapping out to his own move, which again I am always going to, from this day forward, am going to disagree with, because you built this guy up, and it's the same situation last year when he was facing Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. I was one of the people who said that, like, obviously I wasn't doing this podcast and Kayfabe Central at the time, but I was one of the people that said that Gunther should retain, and that if Sami Zayn won, that title reign wouldn't go anywhere. And I was right. That reign went nowhere, and it meant nothing. So I think this is going to be the same case. Jey Uso beats Gunther, and this title reign's not going to mean as much. Um, so yeah, that was Jey Uso versus Gunther. Jey Uso wins the title by submission. Um, yeah. So the next match we had is a match that from the start, when this was announced, I have said that doesn't belong on WrestleMania, and the match itself just proved me right. The War Raiders versus the New Day, in which the New Day won the tag titles. This could have just been done on Raw. And like I said, I love the New Day. I love the War Raiders, but this was not a WrestleMania match. This was a generic tag team match that you would see on Monday Night Raw. And like, they did this at the very last minute. Like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, they started this. They had to turn on Big E, which was a big moment, huge moment. They could have carried that momentum, but instead they just And we're like, okay, we're gonna do this for a couple weeks, then for a couple months, we're just gonna forget about it. Then closer to WrestleMania, we're gonna bring it back. And you know what? We forgot about the Raw tag division. Let's just throw you guys against the War Raiders. And they could have at least added a stipulation, like the Viking rules match. They could have even done that, but this was just a generic tag team match for the tag titles. And I expected the New Day to win. Um, but yeah, this didn't belong in WrestleMania. And I don't know if it was just me, but the crowd didn't seem into it. They did not seem into this match at all. At some points, they were making noise and, they were trying to rile up the crowd, but for the most part, they didn't seem into this match. And I don't blame them. You pay a lot for WrestleMania tickets. You don't pay so much for WrestleMania tickets to see a match you can just see on your TV on Monday Night Raw. And like obviously in person it's different, but a lot of people are still watching at home and it feels the exact same. Um so that's for that match. And like another note I have here is we have a TLC match on the SmackDown side of things for that tag division next Friday on SmackDown. Why couldn't we have that on WrestleMania? Why did we get this instead? And I do think that every title should be defended at WrestleMania, including this one, but this could have been done so much better. And you know how fun it would have been to have a TLC match between like the Street Profits and Motor City and like DIY at WrestleMania? Those guys deserve it. They deserve that WrestleMania moment, but they're not getting it for whatever reason. Um, Next we had Jay Cargill versus Naomi. Good match. Um, Not much to say about this one. They both did their thing. Naomi looks good. Jade looked good. Um, this was a thumbs up for me. I don't think that they should continue this feud. I think it would be a mistake if they continued it because it's not for anything. It's not for a title. Um, yeah, I think that Jade should just move on to whatever it is that she does next. Naomi moves on. Someone made the suggestion that Naomi could possibly win Money in the Bank. I'm not opposed to that. So yeah, not much to say about this. I didn't have much notes about it. Um, that little thing where Jade had Naomi in like the electric chair position and then switched it to a power bomb was pretty cool. I liked that. But yeah, solid match. Then we had LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship, where Jacob Fatu won the title. This was the right decision. I think that putting the title back on LA Knight was the right decision because Shinsuke was having that reign and it was a pretty dead reign, and I was like, okay, they can't have this at WrestleMania, so they got to put it back on LA Knight or somebody else. And yeah, putting it back on LA Knight was the right decision, and Jacob Fatu winning here was the right decision because the guy's got all the momentum in the world. He's fresh, he's new, and just all around, he's a great wrestler. He's Everyone loves him as a babyface or as a heel. He's loved, and it would have been a mistake if they had LA Knight retain. Um, so yeah, this was a good match as well. I really did it. I really enjoyed this match. And like I said, no match on this card was bad. There was just certain matches where we could have seen this on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, solid match from Knight and Fatu. Good decision to have Fatu win the title. Then we had El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix because Rey Mysterio, as I mentioned earlier, got injured on SmackDown last night. And so he was replaced by Rey Fenix on the pre-show. And like again, the entrances. I understand Rey Fenix was last minute, so I could have given them like a pass for that for not having that grand of an entrance. But El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, just like they had this like fake like AI thing where they did with him. And I'm like, you couldn't come up with anything better. And like that's another note I had for the Jade Cargill thing is all they had was this fake weather report thing, and that was her entrance. Like, okay, that's it. I like it's WrestleMania. I feel like these entrances should be grand. But yeah. This match was good, but again, this is a match that I think that like if you compare this match to the match that Chad had with Dragon Lee on Raw, I don't see a difference. And honestly, I think if it was Rey Mysterio in this position, it would have been the exact same thing. Just Rey Phoenix can do more flippy stuff than Rey Mysterio. Rey Phoenix can do more flippy stuff than Rey Mysterio. Um, so yeah, solid match, but this was another Monday Night Raw level match, not a WrestleMania level match. Um, I I expect them to continue this feud until there's like a mask versus mask match. I don't know when Mysterio is going to be cleared, so um, yeah, the if he's cleared soon, if he can come back soon, then they'll finish that feud soon. Or if they just run this back with Phoenix, no idea. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the next match, which was the WWE Women's Championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Now, Tiffany Stratton retained, which caught me by surprise because I thought this was going to be a case where Charlotte just wins. Like, Charlotte wins the Royal Rumble and she wins the title at WrestleMania to get her to number 15 and just to get her title reigns higher. So Tiffany Stratton retaining definitely surprised me, but I'm not against it at all because I honestly, the first reaction I had when Tiffany retained was thank God. So, happy Tiffany retained. This match was solid, better than I expected it to be. And if you watch the predictions podcast, I said that I don't expect this match to be good. And I don't know if I went as far as to say I thought it was gonna be the worst match of the night, but I didn't expect this match to be good at all. But they put on a solid match. Um a year ago I would have thought this match would have been better than it was, but they did a good job. And apparently Tiffany Stratton lost a tooth. Um I don't know. I didn't catch that. I did see her lip bleeding. But then apparently her teeth are fine now because on the post show she I heard that her teeth look fine. So I guess they just replaced it quickly. I don't know. But that's what I was hearing about Tiffany Stratton, that she lost a tooth. Um I don't want them to run this back. I think it would be a mistake if they ran this back, but I think that's what they're going to do. I think that this could just be a thing to throw us off and be like, oh, look, Tiffany retained. She beat Charlotte. But then Charlotte wins the title at like Backlash or something. Um, so I think that's the route that they're looking to go. I hope I'm wrong. And this just makes me hope that the WWE draft comes really soon because just to shake things up a bit and change things because I'm not really liking Tiffany's reign either. But it's definitely better than Charlotte winning the title. So overall, solid match. That takes us to the main event of night one, which was CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns in a triple threat match. This was my favorite match of the night. Um, Great match. I like the spot where Roman went for the spear and Seth caught him in a pedigree. That's always a good spot. They haven't done it often, but I remember they did it at Money in the Bank. I think it was 2016 Money in the Bank because that's when Ambrose won. But yeah, that was a really cool spot. I liked that. There was a lot of near falls in this match, which are always fun. When you think the match is over, and then they kick out at 2.9. The ending of this match was obviously the biggest thing. Um, where Paul Heyman grabbed a chair, looked like he was going to help CM Punk, then gave a low blow to CM Punk, handed the chair to Roman Reigns, but then gave a low blow to Roman Reigns, helping Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins gave a curb stomp to Roman, and Seth won. Um, didn't expect Roman to take the pin, but honestly, based on Roman's recent comments about his certain personal opinions and things like that, I'm not mad that he took the pin. Um, so I don't know where they're going. I am interested in seeing where they go with this Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman thing. They were selling it as like a full blown heel turn for Seth and Paul, which I found interesting. Like you had Michael Cole like me like, oh no, you son of a bitch. Which I just pictured Jim Ross doing, like, oh no, you son of a bitch. Um, that was a terrible Jim Ross impression, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing where this goes, and I I was one of the people that said that this shouldn't be the case where he aligns with Seth, but as now that it happened, I'm like, okay, maybe this could be interesting. Maybe this could lead somewhere, and maybe Seth challenges Jey Uso for the world title at like Backlash or something. You know, you win the main event at WrestleMania. That's got to guarantee you some sort of like number one contender spot for the world title. Um, so yeah, this was a really fun match. My favorite match of the night. Um, and like I said, I'm intrigued to see where all three of these guys go. Roman maybe takes time off, like he usually does after WrestleMania. Um, maybe Punk and Seth continue this, and you know, like, yeah, I'm very interested in what this dynamic is going to be. Um, again, the entrances for this match were just dull. Um, Seth had this flamethrower thing, which me and my sister found pretty cool. We found pretty cool that he came out with a flamethrower. Um, didn't expect a flamethrower. Um, but then it just got stale pretty quickly. Like he kept using the flamethrower, and I was just like, okay, this is whatever. Ugh. Um, Roman Reigns had nothing. Roman Reigns just came out normally, just walked down the ramp to the ring, put the one up, and that was his entrance. CM Punk had Living Color play, and they did a very shitty job at performing the song. And I've never been to a concert in my life. Like I've been to like small like when I go to an event, if there's someone like performing there, that's like the closest I've gotten to a concert. But I'm also not a huge concert guy. And a lot of the time when WWE does these things where the band is performing or the singer is performing, a lot of the time it's not good. And this was one of those times. Like one of the worst times was when Motorhead was performing for Triple H, and like they just weren't singing the actual lyrics. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was. I think it was 18 maybe. Um but yeah, that's usually the case. It's usually not good. And like I said, none of these entrances. Apparently, Tiffany Stratton had the best entrance, and that's actually the one entrance of the entire night that I missed because I was doing something else. Um, but yeah, these entrances were lackluster, and I hope that this is not a sign of what's to come tomorrow night because that would be disappointing. And we do have a slightly better lineup for tomorrow night, but if this is going to be the pattern of the Triple H, the Paul Levesque era of him like fully in control, then it's not good. It's not good. And like WrestleMania is just gonna like, I don't know, be like this every year. And I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong. And like, let me make this clear. When I make a like negative prediction about something WWE does, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Usually I'm right, but I always hope I'm wrong because I'd rather see the product be good than me be right about a prediction. So just keep that in mind. Um, so good matches tonight. They Most of these matches were solid. But a lot of these matches, like I said, could have been on a weekly show. And yeah, I hope tomorrow night's not the exact same thing. Uh, so that's gonna wrap up this episode of the night one review for WrestleMania. And let me know what you guys thought about night one. And I will be back here tomorrow after night two. We have the pre-show starting at 4 o'clock again, 3 hour pre-show of nothing, and then WrestleMania at 7, and then we are here the post show. I don't know what time the post show is going to be up tomorrow night. I don't know what time it's going to be up tonight. It's currently 12:14. So yeah, I am contemplating on doing lives for the post show, like going live, so that way it's easier. I don't know if it'll be easier, but we can definitely try it out. Maybe we'll try it out tomorrow night and see if it happens work. If that works. My words are just being slurred now. Um, no promises that I'll go live. It's probably just going to be this again, but it is something I'm going to keep in mind, maybe for future pay-per-views and post shows and stuff like that. But it is late and I need to sleep because I was up till like 4:30 in the morning because of the Hall of Fame, and then woke up at like 10, 11, and then immediately have to stand and deliver and all that good stuff. So I need some sleep, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the WrestleMania Night 2 post show. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.